again. So it's really my son, Isidro. This is really how it happened. He suggested that I read something. He also gave me an inspirational song to think about, and it was actually Mark Anthony and Pitbull's song. And there was one particular lyrics which said that billions are the new millions. So that's what happened. Being an academic, this is the first time I turned my attention towards economic gain. And I really had to think about it for a while. And I looked up what are emerging markets. And as it turned out, the edibles market is a really big one. And so I thought, okay, I could really put that together. And I thought, what do I like? I love coffee. So I did turn my attention to making instant cannabis infused coffee. And I was extremely ecstatic when I did happen to do that, and knew that's something I could really get behind. I started, first of all, with this product in terms of private clients who wanted custom products. And that actually turned out to be extremely lucrative per product sold on an individual basis. So I was really actually content, and that led to me to kind of consider what were the real financial potential of my invention. Since it seemed to do well on an individual basis, I wanted to kind of begin testing the market, different markets. So I began with Toronto Dispensaries. Those went really well. I was really content with that. I did also at the same time move towards online sales, so more targeted, specifically customers looking for edibles. That went very well. I was actually quite surprised. I had my greatest success on the reservation. It was a bit of a hidden dispensary, so I was quite impressed how well it did. And then, of course, COVID happened and everything just kind of stopped. Since COVID, I've turned my attention to try to license my patent and have found myself between a rock and a hard place in terms of trying to define what my profit margin is, and defining what is my business potential. And after reviewing a lot, honestly, I am not exactly sure what my profit margin is. According to the literature, there's a lot of things involved which I didn't really take account of. I have defined that I have a small business aesthetic. I know how much it costs to make my product, but I haven't taken into account other key expenses. So I'm guessing, I'm hoping that, having acknowledged this, that at the end of the day, my price costs relation will be so impressive that you might ignore the profit margin knowledge. So what I've started is an idea, Mariposa Edibles, transforming the edibles experience with adult appropriate edibles. It's patent pending the process to infuse cannabinoids and terpenes into dry ingredients. It's really about talking about competitive edge. These drinkables have no expiration date and do not require refrigeration. You simply add the contents to hot water and you enjoy. They're 100% effective experience, psychedelic experience every time. So I'm very confident in terms of the market and with what I've come up with. A cannabis infused instant coffee, cannabis infused milk hot chocolate, cannabis infused instant dark hot chocolate, cannabis infused instant white hot chocolate. They each have very interesting properties and have done very well. I've also tested out the Mary Jane Brownie, the cannabis infused microwaveable brownie mix. In terms of retail, they've done very well. This is my pricing for retail. I wholesale them. My cost per unit is very impressive. Here is the cost breakdown that I have, the ingredients versus packaging and the cannabis. Overall, my price cost ratio in terms of retail versus how much it cost me, I had 78% revenue, so at a retail price of $10, it cost me $2.2, so $2.20 to make a product, which is a revenue of $7.80 when I make it on an individual basis. So the sales have been in these different places very well and at different, obviously, profit margins. it just seemed to grow quite almost exponentially when I was doing it. I was especially on the reservation. So I just wanted to express that the product really does have traction. Wow. So what's the reasonable offer? If the valuation is true, can the offer be false? But still, wow, $600 million. I understand that 600 million is a lot. It is relatively accurate. However unlikely or impossible, the valuation is reasonable. As a suggestion, because I mine perhaps 13% of the patent valuation plus 7% royalties, that would be $78 million plus 7% royalties, or perhaps a higher royalty in lieu of the entire patent cost. $10 million plus 18% royalties. In this scenario, $1 million profit in the first year for a total of $10,180,000. Or in the second scenario, if there's $10 million profit in the first year, $11.8 million for a total in the first year. An ode to the Mark Anthony and Pitbull song, Rain Over Me. Let's make a deal.